Hi, this is Marcel with the technical writing team, and I'd just like to do a quick walkthrough of the process of adding deprecations because the process has changed. Let me start by sharing my screen. So over the last little while, we've always added deprecations during the kind of release post timeline into the www project. But we're moving away from that, and we're going to put all our deprecations in the main GitLab project and keep it right with the code and have everything together. The advantage of this is that it lets us automatically generate a doc. It'll show up on docs.gitlab.com under update deprecations, and it'll keep track of all the deprecations that are upcoming. It's still going to show up in the release post, like this is the 14.3 release post and the deprecations are still there, but it's a much, much simpler process now for generating the release post as well, because it's going to go to the GitLab project, it's going to look for the deprecations, and then it's going to populate the release posts. So we don't have to copy deprecations over from milestone to milestone. So hopefully over time, as we get used to this, it'll get much easier and much faster. So the process is going to start with PMs or whoever's responsible for authoring a deprecation. The deprecation files go into data, deprecations. I think a lot of PMs like to use the Web IDE. So for them, how about let's do the demo with the Web IDE. Under deprecations, we want to add a new YAML file. We do have an example YAML file that we can use. So I can just copy this. It's one way to do it. But under deprecations is where we want to add our file. So I'll make a new file. I'm going to name it Marcel deprecated feature 1. Anything is fine right now. We might have some rules for some kind of standardized naming system, but we don't have any right now. But we'll let you know if we need a standardized naming system in the future. So I'll create that file. There we go. Let me paste in the sample, the example. Read through these comments when you're doing it the first couple of times to make sure you understand, and then delete those to keep things clean. And then you want to fill this out. Be aware that the double quotes are required. So if you see double quotes there, make sure you don't delete them when you're filling in milestones and dates and things like that, or the sorting in the doc itself doesn't work. But just to fill this in, let me copy one of the ones that we already had just to save time. We'll copy that in. So we've got our deprecation. We've got the Marcel version of this deprecation. Let's put it in, let's say we're going to announce it. We're announcing it in, I don't know, 14.8 perhaps. Maybe this is the, or 14.5, I guess, is the next the release after this one. And the removal milestone, let's say, let's add it to a new one. We've got 4, 6. Okay, let's put it into 7. So hopefully it should go in the middle there. .7. And I think we can leave the rest the same for now. Oh, the announcement date, because it's 14. You can change this to 14.4 because then that'll be October. That'll be the official announcement date, which is when it hits the release post, but it's fine to have it in there early. Personally, I think it's a great idea to have it in there early, and then you don't have to think about it or worry about it anymore. Let's commit the change. Give it a message. Add the new deprecation. Give it a better commit message than that, please. But that should do it. We'll give it a branch. Deprecation. Gross one, whatever. And start a new merge request. So here's the new merge request. Give it a good title. Choose the deprecations description template. And this should look very familiar to you. It's very similar to the templates that we used in the other project. Fill it in as normal. Fill in the names of the appropriate people. Assign it to yourself. And then assign the reviewers that you need as normal. And create the merge request. And then the last thing the PM has to do is make sure that you ping the appropriate people, make sure that they review it and get the approvals that you need. Then when it's all finished and the technical writer has reviewed and approved, but before merging, the technical writer will have to do one more step. Not this month in 14.4 because either Nick or I will take care of that just to make it easy for people because the deadlines are close. And I'll update this description template with the instructions soon. But the technical writer will need to update the doc. So right now in the merge request, only the YAML file has been added. And if you merge that, nothing's going to break. It'll be fine, but it's not going to show up here in the doc. And that's kind of one of the big goals of this new process is to make sure that it does show up in here. So the key process has to be done from the command line. So I'm going to copy this and come here. So master, do git pull. I was practicing before, but let's do it for real now. So I did a git pull just to get that new branch from here. So I'll copy the branch. And do get the branch. And you can see that the new feature shows up here. Deprecation shows up here. But if we look in the deprecations.md, which is under doc update deprecations, there is nothing between 14.6 and 15.0. So that looks fine, 14.7, great. So there's two ways to run the rake task. You can use bin rake, and that's always worked for me. You can also use bundle exec rake. I'm not sure if there's any advantage to either of them, but this seems to work for me. And we want to compile the deprecations. This command will be in the merge request description in the future, but since that's not going to happen until 14.5, don't worry about it for now. And the deprecations were compiled. It shouldn't take too long to run. It takes about 5 seconds for me. And if we come and look at the deprecations, we've got 14.7. There we go. It's been added in Omniauth, Kerberos, Gem, the Marcel version. Every now and then, it's seeing the sorting the files can move around because it's sorted based on within a milestone based on file names. Don't worry too much about that. As long as the information is still there, it'll be fine. So we should have just the one file updated. That's per normal. We'll just say we updated the deprecation doc. And then we push it to the merge request. Take a moment for this to run through. Everything looks fine. The commit shows up, and if we go to the changes and refresh, it should show up here. And here's the new section with the updated version, and everything else gets shuffled down and resorted. But don't worry about that. That's totally normal. We're working on making sure that the sorting works better in the future. But the main thing is that we want to make sure we add the new deprecation gets added under the correct milestone. Everything else is still under the correct milestone as before. So we had what? Legacy audit events, legacy audit events. Yeah, everything is still good. So as the technical writer and the review is finished and you've probably already approved at this time, with this new pipeline that's running, you can now go and click on merge when pipeline succeeds and you're done. It does seem a little bit complicated the first time you go through it, but probably by the second time that you have to do a deprecation, it should be very, very easy. All you want to do is check out the branch, run the rake task, and then push the updated doc into the merge request, and then merge when pipeline succeeds. It's very similar to updating the GitLab.pot file whenever you are working on like a settings UI merge request like we've done over the last couple months, where the pipeline fails and it says you have to update the pot file, and then you just run the get text command to update it. It's very similar to that, and you just run it and it'll take care of the file for you and then just merge it. And as soon as it merges, within a couple hours, it should show up in the doc. If you have any questions, feel free to ping me, or preferably ask in the docs Slack channel. That way, if I'm not around, someone else will be able to answer. And if there's a problem, it's good for everyone to see the problem and we can figure it out that way. All right, have a great day.